Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz. Welcome to my top 35 favorite all new, all different Marvel series. Now, this video will cover numbers 20 through 11. Alright, number 20 is excuse me. Number 20 is Hercules by Dan Abbott. It's 4 issues in, and it's a really awesome title. And I'm sure for a lot of people that this was a surprise when it came out, and no one realized how good this series was. And as also, you have Hercules take it. In the most recent issue that came out, you have centaurs show up in the issue, and the one thing that was very controversial about this series before it came out, the fact that the series ignored the fact that Hercules is actually bisexual. It's not brought up at all, and plus, the Jack Kirby costume in the first issue of the series, he's not wearing the Jack Kirby costume anymore. He's got a brand new outfit. He's actually wearing pants for a change. The Jack Kirby costume was for the first 3 issues of this particular series, was kept in a display case. But beginning in issue 4, Gilgamesh put on the costume to basically take out some centaurs, give or take. And they mistake that the centaurs mistake him for Hercules because of his strong resemblance, and not just because he dresses like Hercules, but because Gilgamesh kind of looks like Hercules anyways. But still an awesome series. And I highly recommend it. Alright. Number 19. Another tie. Venom the Space Knight by Robbie Thompson and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 by Brian Michael Bendis. 2 really awesome series. And when I heard about the Venom Space Knight series, I was so happy to see Venom get an ongoing series again, because when it came out last year, it had been 2 years. Excuse me for a second here. That's better. It had been 2 years since he had an ongoing series. And it's written by, like I said, it's written by Robbie Thompson, the same writer who writes Spidey and Silk. And he writes the title really well, and I love the artwork for this series. Very somewhat realistic, and I like the fact they have a sort of an agent of the cosmos. Basically, he's a space hero. Now, I'm hoping eventually he does go back to Earth, and I'm surprised he got his own spaceship. I'm like, where the heck did he get this thing? Because it's 3 issues in, and I don't think they've explained where he got the spaceship yet. But I'm hoping they do explain it. As for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4, they just kind of wrapped up its first arc with the Last of the Accusers type of story. And of course, they bring in the villain from Secret Wars. But really awesome title. Bendis is doing a great job for this. And this, I believe the 4th issue that's come out is actually his 31st issue he's written for the series. And it's still good. Because some people are worried that he might be taking too much on his plate because he tends to overexert himself. Right now it's only 4 titles, but this title is still good. Alright. Number 18, another tie. And 17 is also tied too. 18 is The Vision and Nova. The Vision is written by Tom King, who also happens to be the co-writer of Grayson with Tim Seeley, and he's also the writer of the Omega Man series, which is soon going to end. This title is 4 issues in, and it's still really good. Some people think it's a bit weird, the whole family dynamic thing, but it's still an awesome title. It's a great read. Issue 4 was actually the most weirdest issue of the whole series, where the Vision's daughter goes back to school after she was attacked in issue 1 by the Grim Reaper, and basically the Vision and his wife have a night of romance. Basically, you don't get a chance to see it fully. Basically, you have robot sex. Yes. And I'm like, dang. And all the Vision is wearing is a pair of sweatpants. It's just so funny. All the Vision is wearing is a pair of sweatpants, and she's wearing this sexy looking lingerie, which she just sort of phases out of. And it is such a great issue, and all a great series. Great artwork too. And basically, this is kind of like, in a way, you could see this as another possible formula that was used for Hawkeye. What does the Vision do on his days off? This is what he does. Really awesome title. Now, Nova is done by Sean Ryan. I know they kind of wrapped up another arc when they kind of revealed that hopefully in the next issue, basically the last couple issues have been kind of fillerish. And it's just basically Nova going down to the underworld, going to the Under-Earth and taking on Moment's relatives. And the fourth issue is a homage to the cover done by Jack Kirby for the first issue of Fantastic Four #1. They came out back in 1961, which is a really awesome thing to deal with this series. And I'm kind of liking where the series is going. I'm looking forward to see where the series is going. The series is written by Sean Ryan, who just finished up his run for New Suicide Squad. And as far as I know, Nova currently is the only title he's currently writing at this point. And you can definitely see it that Sean Ryan really does build upon what what the previous three writers done with the series. And those three writers are Jeff Loeb, Zeb Wells, and Gary Duggan. He builds upon these writers' stories, despite the fact he basically has no explanation. No, there's no explanation what happened to Nova's girlfriend he had from the previous one of the series, Carrie, who's sort of like a gothic girl who's got piercings, and Sam likes her. I actually like the character too. Just surprised they got rid of her just so they have him and Miss Marvel hook up, which is weird. And I'm thinking though, why are you forcing this romance down our throats? I think that the whole romance between Nova and Miss Marvel is kind of forced. Especially since both of them have had romantic interests in their own separate titles. Give or take. But I'm hoping to see some progress with the series. All right. Number 17 on the tie. Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the current volume Miss Marvel, which is Miss Marvel Volume 4. Howling Commandos of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a really awesome title. And kind of underrated in some ways because it's about the supernatural characters. Heck, in the most recent issue, they brought back the Sphinx, a Nova villain from the 70s. Yeah, and he's not only fought Nova, he's fought New Warriors in the 90s. He also fought Fantastic Four. I mean, it was a pleasure seeing this character again. And the lineup for the team is really amazing. You have oh, that's my brother's cat again. See? I mean, the team is made of people like Teen Abomination, Dumb Doopy, who's a robot, Man-Thing, bunch of monsters, bunch of supernatural characters. I mean, basically, the team is made up of basically, I would say, about 50% of the known supernatural characters in the Marvel Universe. But still a great series. And I think it's written by the same person who writes the Illuminati. If it is, please leave in the comments below. Alright. There she goes again. And she's about to tip on my glass of water. Alright. As for Miss Marvel, just a good title. And, look at this cat. Cute little cat. Yeah, get down there. Thank you. They wrapped up the first arc of this current volume, Miss Marvel. It's kind of a weak arc, especially since she still hasn't figured out the. And here's the thing: her hometown hates her because of this whole branding stuff, and this was done without her permission. But yet people still hate it, despite the fact she kind of has sort of started to clear her name when it comes to this. I'm hoping that G. Willow Wilson knows what she's doing when it comes to this title. I mean, the title was great. It's a great title. It's still one of those underrated titles, but it's got a fan base. I mean, this is probably one of the most best things Marvel has done in the past 5 years, and I enjoy it. And it is definitely a recommendation, definitely. All right, number 16 is Angela, Queen of Hell, done by Margie Bennett. A really awesome title, and it's a continuation of the Angela Asgard's Assassin series. But in the first issue, they revealed that the baby, who was a baby in the previous series, who's now like I would say woman, her pushing 20, because sometime it's like 20 years have passed by or something like that. Because apparently they have it where Angela is now a fully she's an actual lesbian. Yes, she and Sarah are in a lesbian relationship. Which I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, they kind of revealed this when Angela and Sarah made out at the end of issue 1. But the book itself kind of feels like, kind of like they did with Kenan, where the subtitle is actually the title of the first arc of the series, and eventually maybe they're going to drop that title and just call it simply Angela after this arc is over with. And the title itself is like, I think it's like 5 issues in, but it's still really good. Heck, even the most recent issue they have fight Scourge, Boulder, and Tyre. Tyre, I think, died at the end of Karen Gillian's run. I have no idea when Boulder the Brave died. He just shows up in Hela's domain. I'm like, when the heck did he die? But isn't he supposed to start Ragnarok? Isn't his death supposed to start Ragnarok? I don't know. That's still a good title. Number 15 is Deadpool, Volume 4, which issue 7 is going to come out really. I think it's coming out this week. I think it is. The first 5 issues were really good of this thing. Issue 6 was kind of like a standalone issue, and according to Marvel, because issue 6 went over so well reception-wise, that the character is going to be appearing in between story arcs. Like one issue, like the next time she's going to appear is in issue 12. So basically, like after appearing for, after 5 issue story arc, she starts with. That's basically how the formula is going to go. I don't mind that, and besides, her mother is Deadpool's wife. Yeah. And she does have, she does come straight from her father, who is the original Deadpool, and he's alive in the future. Now, I'm not sure what kind of 29 it is. My guess is it's, I have a funny feeling it's the 29 out of the Marvel Knights line of which 29 universe this is set in. But this has not been officially confirmed yet. But I know it's set in the 29 universe. And still a great title. And it's going back to something else in there. It's going to another story to our next issue. Number 14, which just wrapped up its first arc, is All New X-Men Volume 2, done by Dennis Hopeless and Mark Bagley. Very interesting duo. And the title was really good. I mean, the lineup is basically 4 of the 5 Time Dispatch X-Men, which is basically Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, along with X-23, Kid Apocalypse, and a new character. I don't remember her name. But it's still, I mean, I gotta hand it to this. The name itself is very good, and it does not feel like a continuation of the previous title, but it does feel like it does pick up like 8 months later. It's new lineup, and the team is just traveling the country. And it's a great title. I just wish Marvel would slow down on the release of this title, because yes, Mark Bagley is a good artist. I kind of felt as though in some points of the most recent issue that came out, I kind of felt, I mean, a lot of people probably felt this too, the artwork felt a bit rushed, to say at least, because they're releasing this title bi-monthly, or bi-weekly anyway, which I think they should really slow down on the release of this title, along with a bunch of the other titles. But it's still a good title, despite that. Alright. Number 13 is All New Inhumans. Now, this title is a continuation of Charles Schultz's Inhuman title, and it's focused on Crystal and some of the new characters. It's basically the focus characters are Crystal, Gorgon of the Royal Family, and it's also focused on the new characters introduced in the Inhuman series, with the exception of the Reader, who's in Uncanny Inhumans. But still a great title. Some people say this title is actually better than Uncanny Inhumans. I say they're basically even. I mean, they did set up the series via a backup story from the first issue of Uncanny Inhumans, and I gotta say, yes, it does feel like a continuation and feels like next chapter, which also plans to do. I mean, it's a really awesome series. And one thing that they did change one thing about Crystal. The artist gave her a haircut, something she has never got in the past. Her hair has always been long, and now it's short. And Gorgon is in a wheelchair. I don't know if there's been an explanation of exactly why he's in a wheelchair for, but he is. So, yeah. Another good title. Alright, number 12. All New Wolverine by Tom Taylor. 4 issues in, and it's awesome. Not much else to say about this book. It's just really awesome title. I mean, just X-23 being Wolverine. And in the first couple issues, they had Angel appear, and now it's focused on, and now in the past couple issues, they've had Doctor Strange show up, who, by the way, this is after the first arc of events with Iron Man, from a chronological point of view. And in the next issue is going to involve Ant-Man. Issue 5 anyways. But still an awesome time. I love the costume that the artist gave Laura as X-23. Alright. And number 11 is Black Knight. Now, I do have some sad news in this particular book. It was announced by the writer of the series, Frank Tier, who also writes Catwoman. I thought he wrote We Are Robin, but it's a different writer. He announced this title was going to be the first title to get canceled. Why? Why end this great title? I mean, there's no reason for it. I mean, are the sales low or something? I don't know. I mean, he announced this on the first of this month. He announced it like, this was like last week. It was like last week he announced that the title was ending. And I was shocked to hear this title was getting canceled. And no one can deny it's a great series. And a lot of people were pleasantly surprised at this title. I mean, I've heard the reception is very positive when it comes to Black Knight. I mean, there hasn't been a bad issue yet. And the guy's doing a great job writing Black Knight. Now, I think they might end the title just so he can appear in Kenny Avengers. That's my guess what they're planning to do with the character. I don't know. Marvel hasn't really said anything about it, but unlike Karnak, which is receiving a delay, Black Knight has not been delayed yet. And I think that the most recent issue that came out kind of, how should I put this? It kind of wrapped up the first arc of the series. And it's going. And one thing I do like though is they make a reference to a story from Original Sins, 1 and 2 story from Original Sins number 2, where it's the Black Knight story and kind of reveals the history of the Ebony Blade. The woman who appears in that very issue, she comes back in issue 2. I was so happy the fact they made a reference to it, and I'm sure that when they collect this particular volume of trade, that story is going to appear in there, so people know what she's talking about. Because if anybody didn't read Original Sins, they would not know what the heck she's talking about. I read Original Sins. I know what she's talking about. I read this story. It's an awesome story. And I've always said before Black Knight got an ongoing series that he should get an ongoing series. And I have 2 interesting facts about the Black Knight the current book. Is that it's the first Black Knight series since the early 90s. And it's also the first ongoing Black Knight series since the 50s. Yes. You can even look it up on Wikipedia. There was a Black Knight series published in the 50s, but it featured his ancestor, who I think he appears. As far as I know, his ancestor does appear in the series, but I think he so far only appeared in issue 1 so far. And this is one thing I love about Sir Percy, who was the original Black Knight, is that he appears in the book sort of like an advisor in a way, and I have always felt as though Black Knight deserves an ongoing series. I mean, there's plenty to this character. Just give him a chance. And Marvel's giving him a chance now, but yet apparently Marvel doesn't think that he doesn't deserve a chance because they think he's a C-list character. I don't necessarily think he's a C-list character. I think a Black Knight's sort of like a B-list character in a way. I mean, he's got a great look to him. The only thing he's not changed by was his helmet. I love the look of the Ebony Blade. Everything is good about this character. This character was created by Roy Thomas, the same guy who created characters like Sonya, the original the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, a bunch of our characters. And yet, Marvel wants to cancel a title created by a beloved writer. One of the most beloved writers in their history. Maybe, if somehow people are not liking the current run, why not have Roy Thomas do a couple issues and see exactly how the book goes? Because I'm sure Roy Thomas can write it really well. As far as I know, he hasn't written anything in years, but I do think he could still write the character. He wrote the character. I mean, he introduced the character in his run for Avengers. Why not just write his ongoing series? But it's up to Marvel what they want to do with the character. I'm hoping he still sticks around because I love the character Black Knight. He's one of my personal favorite characters. He's in my top 10 favorite characters. And he's like in my top 5 underrated characters that Marvel has, because he's kind of like overshadowed by other big characters like Captain America, Spider-Man, Thor. He's kind of overshadowed by them. He's basically, those other characters overshadow him, and he has to live in their shadow. And plus the fact his uncle, who was his predecessor as the Black Knight, was an Iron Man villain. And as far as I know, that Black Knight is dead. Every single person who has been Black Knight has died and has been confirmed dead. And Dan Waltman is just the current Black Knight and a long line of Black Knights. And despite that, that's it for this one. That's it for this part here. Stay tuned for part 3, and there will be the conclusion to this 3-part top 35 favorite, all new, all different Marvel Now titles. Until then, see you there. Bye.